I'm after talking to myself. I forgot to hit play. Welcome. We're triple jobbing this morning. I pit stopped. First of all, I know my niece Lily watches my YouTube channel. I think my niece and nephew are the only two who will tune in every week, family related. Everyone else will watch every now and again, but no. So Lily, I have your Christmas present behind me. Shout out to Smith's Click and Collect. I was in and out because Auntie Catherine gets overstimulated in the toy shop. Then I had and I just got a piece of thin MDF. It's white on one side and it's brown on the other side, because after Jack's school play, which I have to go to next after I exercise on this beautiful morning, I have Jack's Christmas play. Then I'm going to go and collect the doors from Siobhan's, and well, I'm going to take one and I'm going to see today. I have had so many amazing ideas from you guys from the last kitchen video. I was saying how Siobhan wanted the doors reversed and the front would be the back and the back would be the da-da-da-da-da-da, and stick things on, make it look like a shaker. And you guys were like, you know, if she just wants the grooves gone, what about filling them? Like, she did try fill them before, which I'll chat about later, but some good ideas was just put a thin MDF thing on top. And I have a router. I think a router is the right name, and a router is what your internet is that right? Anyway, I don't know if this is too thin and how thin my router can go, but I was like, what if I got a MDF, cut it to the square of the door, and we routed out some design on the front to make it look like a shaker. Then someone this morning when I was reading the comments was like, just take the square piece, stick it on over the grooves, and then sand the doors and repaint them. So there's a couple of options that I want to play around with. And we will see kind of what it is, but I think I've dropped the idea of flipping the door. First of all, I don't have the time to do that, to get it done before Christmas. So I'm going to take a door, play around, see what we can do to make it look. Siobhan just wants kind of like a shaker style door. And just for anybody who's new, we don't have a budget for new doors, but in saying that, when it comes to the cost of wood, I think she's got 8 doors. I do often, I will try and recycle stuff, but if it's going to be more cost effective and labor intensive to just get something, like to get secondhand doors and stick them on that are what she wants, wash them, stick them on, I do price it up to see what is the better option. So yeah, we're going to play around and see if we can salvage her original doors but just change the design. I need all of the coffee in the world. Will I get this done before Christmas? Absolutely not, but don't tell Siobhan that. You know what, if all I had to do was Siobhan's doors, if all I had to do was this project and not work stuff, I have 3 other work projects that I have to get done before Christmas, and this, and I'm going to see Santi tomorrow night with Jack and Lily. So I just thought I would share the reality of projects, because it's not just, oh, let's go and do a kitchen makeover and it's all polished and lovely. There's chaos as well that goes along. I think it's just because it's December. Anyway, we'll get this done. I'm going to swallow this coffee. I need to exercise to calm my brain, because you can probably tell it's got a million tabs open. Then I'm going to go to the Christmas play, sing all the Christmas songs, and then we're going to do kitchen doors. Here's a peep at the kitchen cabinets before. These have been painted twice. There's a darker grey colour underneath this light grey. Siobhan wants the grooves in the middle gone, and she wants a warm neutral tone on top. For anyone who's new, or if you missed it, we created a bit of a breakfast, a buffet, kind of extra storage, kitchen island section down at the back at the window, and that is painted black. So the goal is she wants the grooves gone, a shaker style kitchen door with the black handles, neutral cabinetry that will make that bit of black down the end pop. Ultimately, she wants to get rid of all that grey. Okay, actually, before I even start yapping, can you hear the chorus of birds? There's a little starling up here doing that little, I can't do the word, but like chitty chitty. Toffee next door is crying to get into his house. Lots of nature noises. Anyway, here is one of the doors. I took one of the bigger ones, so I wanted to just show you. Now, I did notice there's some warping down the end here. So I don't know if you can kind of see here. I have some warping because possibly due to, I don't know what was underneath this when it was originally painted. Was the laminate taken off and then moisture got in? You don't have to peel off the laminate if it's in good condition. You can just use a primer. So I have some damage here. So the plan is, if I stick something on top of this, if I have warping down here, I'm going to have to sand as much as I can, but then also seal it, because when it goes to be painted again, we don't have any more kind of warping. Other than that, there's no real damage to the doors. I will have to obviously kind of, sand stuff, especially the sides, just so that if I stick something on, it can be even. So the reason why Siobhan doesn't like the doors is because of these groove sections at the front. Now, someone had suggested sticking some MDF just on this section, but this is all the one level. If I stick something on top, it may stick out. However, I do have a router, so if I was to stick something on top, I could maybe do a design on the edge so that it doesn't look as obvious. Option one. I need to actually practice with the router. The other option is just stick one whole big piece on top and do straight lines. She basically wants the shaker style, so the straight line going down, the line going across, line up, and then she doesn't want anything in the middle. And then the other option was filling this in. I'm going to insert a picture. Siobhan did try and do that. A lot of people had recommended products that I can't get here. In Ireland, there is one that was like used to fill, like you can use it to fill in, cars and stuff. The other problem as well with trying to fill it this time of year, you can probably tell there's a lot of moisture, it's cooler, so the curing time is going to take longer to cure. Same goes for paint and everything when you're doing it in winter. So I need to figure out what I'm going to do. Beautiful birdie song. I think I'm gonna cut one test piece. Bear in mind this is a scrap piece and I think this is 0.4mm and I have 0.3 from the shop. I think this could be an economical option because it's gonna mean I use less wood and then I can sand the old paint. I think this might work. Thank you to whoever recommended doing this. I don't think it looks that bad, the thickness, but I do think if I route the edge to soften it, we could be onto a winner here. Also, this video is just, we're going with the flow. I have no rhyme nor reason to this. Hence the cup of tea. Good cup of tea. That's where all your creativity. See, poet. So now it's time to measure a million times and cut once, because if it's anything I've learned from woodworking is you can cut it too big because you can trim that, but if it's too small it is very hard to stick it back on. Also, this is a very random question. I don't even know if such a thing exists. I feel like it should, but the insurance would be crazy. Is there somewhere where you can go and it's a woodwork workshop that you could possibly rent for, you know, the day or a couple of hours to cut your wood and go. I feel like, oh God, if I had a lovely straight woodworking table, what a luxury it would be. For projects like this, I feel like it would be nice to go somewhere to cut all your wood pieces and then come back to the house, because if you don't have the luxury of, you know, a garage or even a workshop, I see people with their workshops on YouTube and I'm like, yes, you are gold. If I win the lotto, I want one of those. I know there's men's sheds in Ireland, but I think you have to be a member of them. Possibly a man as well, but I'm not sure how that works. I think they might let ladies in now. I don't know. Is there a ladies shed? Ladies shed. Is there somewhere where I can go and use their table saw and then come home and not make a mess in my house? After cutting the piece of the wood, now I don't want to confuse people because I did say at the start of the video that I had purchased a router, and you're going to see me experimenting with a rotary tool to smoothen the edges. So I have a plunge router that I'm after buying and I'm really excited to use it, but I need to take some time. I feel like the material that I'm using is too thin and I might wreck it. So sometimes it's better to do things by hand because you have a bit more control, especially if you're not confident with a new tool. Anytime I get a new power tool, I will play with it for a couple of hours on scrap wood, because with woodworking and tools, sometimes you have to get used to the power settings, because if you go straight in with a really heavy, you know, power tool or saw, you can get kicks in the wood and that can give you a fright if you're not used to it. So definitely take your time anytime you get a new tool to play with it and explore all the different settings and just get a feel for the tool. To soften the edges and give them an angle, I'm going to use a hand planer. I think that's what it's called. And I am just shaving off the edges and I've tilted it at an angle. It's not a real severe angle on it. You could use a router for that if you wanted to get more of an edge, but I just wanted a subtle one just so that it didn't look flat when I go to stick it onto the kitchen cabinet. I'm also prepping the old paintwork because this can happen, and I am guilty of it as well because I've painted my kitchen cabinets multiple times. So what can happen, especially if you paint the cabinet on the doors, you can just get a build up on paint on the edges. So like the bottom edge, sometimes paint as it's curing can just move down a bit. Like it can be subtle, but you might notice a build up of paint on the sides when you open the door. You might notice them. So there was a build-up of paint on this, so I'm just sanding back all of the edges. I only lightly scuff sand the front bit that's getting covered, and I cleaned it just to remove any grime because the adhesive needs to be able to stick onto it. Another thing is, you probably see my adhesive. Normally, depending on the instructions will be on the tube, it might say to do big, large beads of adhesive and then press your wood on. Because my adhesive was actually being stored in the shed, which I don't normally do, like I keep paint inside. This time of year, if you find that you're going to do projects, whether you're taking the paint out of the shed or glues, they might be a bit gloopy. Ideally, depending on what it is, I try to store things like this inside the house so that there's no drastic temperature changes. We did have a frost last week, and my shed is definitely not frost proof. If you have a garage, it's probably better. So I applied adhesive to the grooves, and then I placed on the new piece of wood and I put some heavy stuff on top. I did notice that normally this adhesive will be dry in like 20 minutes, but I did notice there was still a bit of movement on it. So I brought the wooden door inside into the kitchen and I'm going to get it ready for priming. myself and Bon. Ooh. Okay. Can the camera pick up on my door? I also am a little bit under the weather, which always happens when you have a week of things to be doing, places to be. I was at Lugwoods last night with my niece and nephew to see Santa. And I have my friends like choir service this week and everything, and work. So it's always when you're socializing, I can't talk, you wake up full of a head cold. Anyway, Bon, can you see Bon? If you're wondering why Bon is looking grey, he climbed up the chimney. Oh, the two of them did. And I've been trying to brush it out of him. I initially got most of it off, it's just the last little bits, and I've been using like warm, wet sponges to try and get it off, but cats on water, eh? They've been quite bold lately, but it's okay because I love them. So one door is done. I haven't showed Siobhan a picture. I'm going to bring it around now and I'm going to stick it onto her kitchen cabinet to see if she even likes it. Let her sit with the colour. I don't know if this is too kind of grey for her. See, it's hard to tell when it's in my kitchen because the lighting conditions are different. So I'm going to bring this around and see if it's a yay or a nay, and then try and plan in, if it is a yay, when I can finish this project off. Anyway, here's my door. Let's go see. Oh, it's a heavy old door. Let's go see if it's gonna work. So we are back in the kitchen. So I'm sticking the door on and I've asked Siobhan to sit with the colour to see if she likes it for like a couple of days, because you know yourself, sometimes it can look, colour looks different depending on the lighting, and also this time of year can be, I feel like if you like a colour in winter in Ireland because the lighting does be so bad, then you're gonna love it for the rest of the year. If you paint something in summer and it looks really bright, I always think of what's it gonna look like in winter, because realistically in Ireland we have a lot of dull dark winter days versus bright and sunny ones. Also, I'm so sorry if there's a bit of a background noise. I have a cat on my lap attacking me. I will be back in Siobhan's kitchen where I will give you the verdict on the colour and if I got it finished for Christmas time. Also, if you are new, you can check out the other videos I did where I made over this end piece of the kitchen. So built-in cabinet, IKEA island. I can happily report that it's still standing, which it should be. But they recently actually had guests over and they were having a few drinks and a games night, and the feedback was they loved how social this new space is, that they can all sit facing each other and they feel like they have enough space, but it just feels more social, the kind of square space. And they love that they didn't have to climb in and out on top of each other compared to how it was. So if you want some more kitchen DIY fixes, you can check out that video. And also apologies for not having like a kitchen makeover video in one video. I feel like this is more real life. Most people who are doing up their kitchens, they're not going to be able to do it as quickly as what you see in a video, and they are doing it around their day jobs and other work, including me. So I will catch you in the next one.